And this recognition is never a step away from where you already are, in this moment, as this presence that you feel and have always felt. To be alive in this moment as life itself, this is your foundation. This is your truth. There's no need to tell stories about how the past used to be seen, about how the past used to be felt, how the past used to be experienced. These things are they're only in the play of life. They're only the playthings of the consciousness. Not so important or substantial on their own. Flowing, movement, poetry, joy, dance, expression. These are the natural fragrances of your being, the natural expressions of your soul. There's nothing more that there's nothing apart from that in the dynamic sense. Everything is just a shade of this natural recognition of self. And in the joyousness of that experience, in the joyousness of that recognition, everything is taking its reading from that depth, that profundity, from that living essence. The seeming troubles and misconceptions are just that, misconceptions. We don't root ourselves completely into what we are in our dynamic experience. We look to the past for something we don't have any longer, believing that we are incomplete in the moment. So we look to the past and we look to the future. And there's not anything necessarily wrong with the past or the future, or even your ability to imagine these things, but to build your foundation upon this drive to distract yourself or to change the reality that you're currently experiencing, you so often tend to overlook the completeness that's inherent in your own experience, the completeness that's inherent in your own being in this moment. Because once you find that, once you realize that, once you remember that, then you see, the desire to go to the past, the desire to go to the future, it becomes less interesting, becomes less appealing. Because you really don't need to run away from what you are, and you really, in the end, you really can't run away from what you are. Because everything that you take yourself to be, you'll just carry with you. And everything that you truly are will be the foundation for all the things that you imagine. It all comes back to your own self, the own relationship that you have with yourself, and how willing you are to acknowledge just what you are, even beyond the sense of who you are. If this idea of who you are is based in conditions, and when I have this, then I can be myself. When this person approves of me, when I'm, it's always like a step out from where we are. It's always a condition, like I'll be myself one day. One day I'll be worthy of love. One day I'll be worthy of acceptance. One day I'll be where I want to be. And yet, it becomes this kind of fruitless chase, because you build the foundation of that potential future upon a sense of incompleteness in the moment that you already inhabit, the moment that you already are. And so everything comes and goes and comes and goes, and it becomes this never-ending desire to hold yourself into certain shapes in your mind, certain scenarios in life, repeating the same patterns over and over and over to try and achieve the same desires over and over and over. And all the while recognizing in the back of your mind that there's this gnawing sense that it's not fulfilling you as much as it used to. Because you may get the things that you want, and yet every time you get it, it seems to kind of diminish. The thrill leaks out a little bit. There's less of an interest, less of a thrill, less sustaining quality to it. And ultimately you come to find that these external pursuits on their own really cannot fulfill you indefinitely, no matter how appealing and how interesting they are to begin with. And this is when you know that you're ready to come inside. You're ready to look inside of yourself. And not only inside of your body as a physical sense, not like putting a microscope up your nostril or something. Not looking into your physical body, but looking into your consciousness as consciousness. Feeling into the experience that you're currently having, realizing that yourself is more than just a body, and more than just a mind, and more than just a brain, and more than just the things that you do through that body and through that mind, and more than the things that you hope to find in the future or hope to avoid in this moment. You find that you are more than all of this.